Baseball is dead.
Rest in peace.
It's Thursday, yeah? Today's Thursday.
This entire day is going to be Thursday.
Today's Thursday. No Jayhay today. Sad.
Yeah, he's frolicking around in Princess Land.
Is he? He's in Disney, right?
Yeah, it's Disney, but they
Disney
had
World or Disneyland? Disney World.
Disney World. Yeah, Disney World. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be a hell of a trek from the right side of the country to come all the way over here to the left side to go to Disneyland when you have Disney World like an hour or two away or wherever the hell.
Yeah. Also, Disneyland sucks, I'm told.
It doesn't suck. No, Disneyland does not suck.
It's like 20% of what Disney World could be for you, though, right?
We're talking about a land and we're talking about a world. Of course, there's probably going to be differences. My goodness. But California Adventure is right there. I mean, so you can dual park it. And if you've been to Disneyland and you've been to Disneyland California Adventure, you understand the benefits of dual parking it. Like that's a day. Like people try to knock that off the list. Like, hey, how many rides can we go on in the land and in the adventure part? Like, let's see what we got. Let's see what we're made of here as a group. Cause that takes some strategizing, takes some strategery, Jared.
If you could take one active Major League Baseball player with you to go to Disney World, who do you think you would have the most fun with?
Maybe Vinny Pasquantino.
I was going to say Vinny Pasquantino as well.
Yeah. I mean, I remember, me and Wilson, one time went to Disneyland. Like what I like to do when I take my friends and their family and all of us. And like, I have a rule. We go in and we got to get hats. We got to get hats or like hoodies. And I'm not talking just a Disneyland hat. I'm talking find yourself a character that you like. And we're rocking that because the pictures are fun. Like it's just, it's fun. And like I think I had like a Donald Duck hat and I was wearing a Woody from Toy Story, a hoodie, a Woody hoodie. And I think Weez had like a Goofy hat and he had Buzz Lightyear hoodie. And we're just and this is probably in like, I don't know, it's in like June and people are like, what are you guys, am I seeing this? Is that Dallas and Brian? Fucking Disney and what is going on? And why are you dressed like that? Because it's fun. It's fun. So that's one of the things I like to do. You gotta get the juices going, man.
Yeah, you really do. I immersed myself in the experience when I was there. What was that, last December? I was into it. I was walking around with like the Jafar t-shirt. I think my only regret was that I wore like sneakers. That was dumb. My feet were screaming by the end of that.
Oh yeah, you definitely like if no free ads, Hoka, like if you can get yourself a nice, maybe it's the Nike Pegasus, but just get yourself a nice foot canoe, man. Get yourself something nice and comfy to roll around in because you're going to get your steps in. You are going to get your steps in.
Yeah, next time I would do Crocs or like sandals.
Well, you're going sport mode, obviously. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that. And for you, probably a lot of standing around, right? I mean, can't get on all the rides, but that's
not true. I can get on every ride.
You gotta, yeah. But Crocs. That'd be fun.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be fun. Yeah. Harry Potter world, dude.
We were supposed to do this. When the fuck were we supposed to do this? Oh, the what was it? The winter meetings. We were supposed to do like a Disney trip with all the fellas. Just didn't happen.
Yeah, well, darn.
Get him next time.
Yeah, we'll get him next time. I mean, it would be an absolute blow. God, you know what? Yeah, let me drag Milky around. Like, is Milky a roller coaster guy?
I don't know, but that's what I wanted to find out. Yeah, like I want to see you being the facilitator of fun with Milky at Disney. That would have been the whole premises of the content.
Yeah, yeah. That was the whole what?
Premise.
That would be a blast. That would be we'd get Milky in fine form. Yeah.
Next time, maybe this year.
I'm not doing nothing.
Yeah, we'll have to like crowdsource for funding for content ideas now. Well, speaking of getting some funding, Ranger Suárez got some funding yesterday, Dallas.
Sure did. It looks like the Red Sox found some funding.
Sox.
Did I say that?
It's an O.
Okay. Yeah. So they took a little off the top of the offer for Bregman and just basically were like, here, Ranger. I mean, you don't play third, and that's fine. We're okay with that. We're cool with that. Like, you're not going to be able to take advantage of the monster per se, but. No. We are focused apparently right now in this moment on run prevention, which is what I said. So, hey, now the Red Sox have of the top
with an O.
I thought I said Sox.
Yeah.
Have one of the best 1-2 punches at the top of their rotation now in baseball. Was he the top gun on the free agent market?
Number one. Fangraphs projected WAR has the Red Sox as the number one rotation in baseball for 2026.
Look, there's no arguing that there's depth there. That is for sure. Like, there's no joking about that. Like, that is, you got outgetters. That is plain to see. You got outgetters, and at the very tip top, you got two of the better ones. Now it wasn't Fromber, but between Fromber and Ranger, it's not a pick your poison. I think there is a clear difference in the two, but if you're settling for one of the two, that's a great place to settle. That's a wonderful place to settle. And I don't want to give Red Sox fans shit about the idea of moving on from a Bregman and landing on a Suárez, and how do we end up there so quickly, like such a quick pivot. Like, you wonder if there was going to be, and I guess I'll ask you this. Are you okay with it being the Suárez deal, knowing or hoping that is there still interest? Because we know they've got a lot of that. Is there still interest in trying to shore up what's not happening at third base? Are you okay with?
Yeah.
So because my question was, and I was talking about this on the podcast last night with the North Shore 9 boys. You can say that there's a need over there at third base, which I think there is, but you also have somebody who I think you're looking or kind of just waiting for Meyer to emerge and to kind of take ownership of a position. And should it be third base? I mean, I think that would be ideal. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. I mean, he got called up because Bregman got hurt last summer.
Right.
And he did a fine job at third base. So I think it's either or. It's second base. Like, if I'm the Red Sox, I'm picking up the phone and I'm calling Mike Hazen and being like, I know you took him off the table, but I know you like Duran. I know you like Tolley. I know you like Early. Like, there's definitely a conversation here with some combination of players. I'm not saying all of those guys, but the D-backs sure do like a lot of the players that the Red Sox have. And you can go from an extremely disappointing outcome for your offseason to like like they've really improved compared to the 2025 roster if they were able to engage on a Ketel Marte trade and then you put Meyer at third, or is it Eugenio Suárez 2-year piece and then you put Meyer at second? Because I mean, I get it. Like, the downside, well, there's a couple things there with Suárez.
No
Eugenio,
Paredes?
not Ranger.
No Paredes?
So I'll get to him. Strikeouts and defense.
Mm-hmm.
So, when you add, and shout out to Jayhay for the Nugs, when you add Ranger Suárez, you've now got 3 of the top 10 pitchers in baseball last year in ground ball rate. Mm-hmm. So you've got Ranger at, I believe it's 5, Bayo at 6, Crochet at 10, and then Sonny Gray was 19th. So 3 out of the top 10, 4 out of the top 20. But you don't have a second baseman and you don't have a third baseman. And if it's Suárez who's going to play third for you, not a good defender. They were interested in him at the deadline last year, but that was to play first base. So that's where a guy like Isaac Paredes is interesting to me, because better defender than Suárez, and he's also a guy that's perfect for Fenway.
Yep.
He puts the ball in the air. He pulls the ball. It's entirely built for Fenway Park. So that's some pop, and it's a right-handed bat. But what's that going to cost? I do think ultimately, because we haven't even mentioned the name Bichette, I do think that
I mean, is that even realistic, though? Is that even realistic at this point to entertain that? That's what I said last night. I said, I don't think it's realistic that the Red Sox can even entertain that conversation anymore.
Not unless they traded someone, like if they were to offset some of the other, I don't even want to call it like bloated, because like I don't think they're going to trade Massa. You're stuck with fucking Jordan Hicks. And if you're signing an infielder, I don't think that you're trading Duran.
Yeah, and that's why, like, for me, it's not necessarily, it's not the question mark in the terms that I think we use the phrasing question mark, but Marcelo Meyer is absolutely a key piece to this puzzle, because if they have the confidence in him and he can actually come close to or meet whatever their expectations are for him in this role this early, then that solves a lot of their issues. That solves a lot of the Red Sox issues. And it gives them the confidence to redirect and focus on a Ketel Marte and part ways with some of the guys that you're talking about in order to bring him in, because you feel that good about what you're going to get over there at the corner. If that's not the case, then I think you do have to shift your perspective and you have to start to really strongly consider shoring up the combination of defense and power. And the two guys that you mentioned, the two guys that I mentioned in Suárez, because in our chat, what did I say? I said this a couple weeks ago. I said, could be a Eugenio. That's what I'm hearing. And with Paredes as well. So two guys who, and you mentioned how Paredes is probably better defensively than Eugenio. I think that would, or I guess I question what the thought would be if that is indeed the direction that they go. Instead of trying to shore up the right side, they go ahead and get the combination of whatever power they think they have and, defense at third.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, again, don't sleep on fucking Paredes' power. Like, the dude he's got some pop. And he's a guy that could play either third or second, depending on where the greatest need would be. But yeah, that would be a trade. I still think, that's probably, if I had to bet, I would say that they're going to go trade versus, because I mean, like, what's Eugenio going to cost? That's like 20 a year for a 2-year piece.
Yeah, I was going to say probably anywhere. I mean, I don't know that it's going below 20. I mean, if depending on if you give them, if there's an option in a third year, or if there's an option for a third year, and then maybe an opt out after year 2 or year whatever it may be, then I mean, you can construct that deal however you would like. I mean, I think Craig is going to have to come up off one of them arms if Ketel is even near the conversation. If you want to go that route, because I mean, Hazen took him off the table, right? It's
Correct.
one thing to have a tough time getting someone to answer the phone, knowing that you're not really bringing much to the table by way of what you're willing to part with, but to have him re-engage on a player who he is sort of deemed untouchable now and saying, no, he's not going anywhere. Like, we're done fielding these C+ offers, these B offers. Like, give me something that gets me excited. Give me something that gets the blood flowing, and then maybe we can talk. And I think that's where one of the young arms has to come into play, and maybe even a Duran.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. I think they're not done. I think it's a slam dunk guarantee that they're not done. There will be, whether it's a free agent signing, whether it's a trade, they will add a bat somewhere.
Well, I mean, you have to. Like, you have to. That can't be the pivot. That can't be the, all right, hey, we went through the Bregman saga, and on the other end, we came out with a pitcher. All right, let's go get him, boys. Like, that's not how this ends.
No, it's not.
I would hope not, anyway.
No. How do you like the Red Sox rotation?
I'm a fan. That's what I said. I mean, you got some outgetters, man. There's no doubt about it. The dude at the top is an absolute hog, just a straight up beast. And so that's where you like to think this is the tone setter. This is where, like, when I think about guys like Crochet, I think about a guy like Skubal, and I think about guys who just are setting a mark, setting a certain expectation, right? But I talked about the guy at the back end of the rotation last night in Oviedo. Like, there is a lot to like about Johan Oviedo, and to think that Brian Bayo was somebody who was pitching at the top of the rotation, a year ago or whatever.
Yeah, he was opening day starter in 24.
Yeah, and now we're talking about him being slotted as a 4 or a 5 or however that's going to shake out. I mean, that all matters for the first week of the season. Then after that, it is what it is. But I mean, you've got a stabilizer in Sonny Gray planted in the middle there, who is going to give you work, who is going to, just create that bridge between the top and the lower half of the rotation. But I just don't see a seismic gap between a Sonny Gray and a Bayo and an Oviedo. I mean, there's a lot to like about what there is in that rotation right now. A lot to like about it.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what Oviedo can be now that he's like the number 5. Before it was like, you've got like your 1 through 3, then you've got your Oviedo, then you have like your rookie slot, which would have been like an early or a Toley. But now it's, you've just got studs, and then see what Oviedo can be now that he's this reclamation project that is on the up and up. Could be fun.
That's think about that depth, man. I'm like, I watched Toley and Early both with my own eyeballs last year and came away impressed. Very impressed. So much so that I went down and talked to Connolly after his outing, was like, hey, like, buddy, tip of the cap. Solid work. Enjoy this. Like you're gonna be a dude.
He is a dude. Are you gonna get on the action on the Underdog Fantasy app with the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday, Dallas?
It's a bye week.
Oh.
Yeah.
The Patriots are playing. The Underdog Fantasy app is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. You can mix and match across other sports if you'd like, but NFL Sunday, that's going to be a fun time. Pats are playing. Victorious on Sunday against.
You locked in on that? You're going to be locked in on the Pats?
I watched on Sunday. It was a boring game, but it was it's a dub.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think the game that I'm most locked in on maybe is probably the Rams-Bears game.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's the game that it excites me the most.
Who has the best defense in the playoffs right now?
Ooh. Maybe the Texans?
We'll see. Make sure you sign up with the promo code Jared. That's JARED to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a special pick on Underdog. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code Jared. Our mutual friend, one of our close buddies.
I can't even believe it.
Thank you, John.
John Heyman said that the Kyle Tucker decision could come today, Thursday.
That's soon.
Yeah, that's pretty soon. So the way that I'm looking at it is I'm still a little confused, as I've kind of been all along with the Kyle Tucker situation. And remember when I was talking about how, like, there's rumors or, whispers that he doesn't really love baseball, and there's some, like, Anthony Rendon there. I was like, am I making that up? Like, where did I hear that? And then I started hearing it like on other shows. And I'm like, all right, so it's not me just slandering this guy with water cooler talk. Like, it is out there. And it got me thinking, because I saw the report that the Toronto Blue Jays had 10 years on the table for this guy. And then the other reports, as far as we know, are that the Mets wanted to go $50 million a year for short money, or for short term, like 3 or 4 years at $50 million a year. And then I believe it was Ken Rosenthal just kind of suggested this would be a perfect Dodger opportunity to do the same thing. High AAV, 3 or 4 year deal, maybe an opt-out or opt-outs plural, something like that. But as far as we know, I don't believe there's a report that the Dodgers have made an offer like that. It just more kind of looked like, if he's sitting there with 10 years and I'm sure a pretty good AAV from Toronto, and he's not taking it, and there's the rumors that he doesn't really like, if you don't love baseball, would you rather take a 10-year deal? Like, you've got to play this game for the next decade? Or would you rather cash out and be like, all right, yeah, like, I could play for like 4 more years and set my family up with generational wealth? Like, I don't know. It's just an interesting situation with Tucker because I don't know the guy. I don't know the person. I don't know. There's not even like a person that I know that knows him. You know what I mean?
Well, this is why playing this game, this hypothetical conversation with a guy like Kyle Tucker is, I'm not going to say dangerous, because we are prefacing this entire conversation with, we don't know the dude.
No.
And this first part of the conversation is, let's say that we're living in a world where he does have Rendon tendencies. That's what
you ever see him do an interview?
Sparingly.
I don't even know what his voice sounds like.
Sparingly, like post-game interviews, and that's that.
Yeah.
But let's say, hypothetically, again, this is no slander for Kyle Tucker. This is just playing this out in two different ways. The first way is that he does have Anthony Rendon tendencies, not in love with the game. It is absolutely more of a job than it is a passion, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so with that foundation laid, we do have to remember that there's a difference between $150 million and $400 million. This isn't the difference between 150 and 200 million, where you still might be able to say, well, what's that other 50 million to me? If I'm making the 150 and I don't have to worry about coming back to the same place for the next decade, it's really only a half decade or so, then I'm okay with that. That's where a player might be in a position to say to themselves, I don't need that. So this is where I'm happy, because not only am I happy here, I'm not fully committed to this. And I'm also in, without a doubt, one of the best places that gives me the opportunity to win a championship and finish my career with that championship champagne taste in my mouth. So with all of that being said, the Dodgers would be an interesting dance partner. And what makes it even more interesting is that the Dodgers know that. The Dodgers know that they don't necessarily have to sell themselves at this point, because the brand is selling itself. Who they are, what they're about, the team, the roster, that's doing a lot of the heavy lifting. And if you don't already know what the Dodgers come with, well, then you've been living under a rock. And for Kyle Tucker, he's very aware of what they come with. There's also been ties for Kyle Tucker in Toronto outside of just the destination, outside of the money and the years. There's friendships that are there for Kyle Tucker. That matters. And this is what I said about Donnie Ballgame and Bo Bichette, right? Like, hey, who knows? That could be a thing. Whether that remains to be seen for Kyle Tucker or not, I don't know how much of a needle mover that is. But that's a tough decision to make if you're somebody who's not interested, again, hypothetically, not interested in seeing out a 10-year contract in its entirety. But I don't know how you turn down, if it's 150 on the table, and then you've got double that money for obviously double and probably more years. I mean, now we're living in a world where Kyle Tucker likes baseball, loves baseball. I am moving to Toronto yesterday, if that's on the table. If that's on the table,
breed.
If that's on the table, how are you like, and you like the game, you enjoy what you're doing? The one caveat to this has been whether or not Kyle Tucker wants to be the guy, right? Because I think you go there and you know who the face of the franchise is. That's not up for debate. That's not a question. You don't have to be that dude, but it is absolutely a now Batman and Robin type situation where, well, we can't just ignore the fact that we've signed you up for 10 years and have given you $350+ million. Like that's not just going to get swept under the rug when things start to deteriorate at the end of your career, because they inevitably will. And so I also think about, what does that transition period look like? And if you're somebody who doesn't enjoy the spotlight and you're somebody who wants to just kind of do your thing in the shadows, be a quiet leader via your production, the tail end of your career is probably going to have, I don't want to call it controversy, but is probably going to have some naysayers swirling about what you're doing, what you're bringing to the table at that point in time. And I believe that the Toronto fan base and even the organization, to an extent, is understanding of what that transition looks like for a player.
I'm sure that, after he signs wherever that may be, some reporter somewhere is going to ask him the question, like, do you love baseball? And I think we're not even going to need to ask him that question depending on where he signs. I think if he's like, yeah, sure, I'll take fucking 3 years, $50 million a year with the Mets, like just like get it over with, then I'd be like, wait, so you turned down 10 years to be with Toronto Blue Jays when they were 2 outs away from winning a World Series title, and you have an entire country backing you and super passionate fans and an ownership group that's super dedicated to winning and has proven that now. Like they're kind of building like the Dodgers East over here. I want to be fair to the guy. I want to hear him answer that question, or I want to have someone sit down with him and go through the thought process of like your decision. Why the Mets if it's the Mets? Why the Dodgers if it's the Dodgers?
Here's the question too, is we're talking about a player, Jared, who over the first, 7-8 years of his career, however long it's been, has amassed right about 27, 28 wins above replacement, according to Baseball Reference. Mm-hmm. Is this a guy who, if he's able to hit that streak and hit that peak, that can turn himself into a borderline Hall of Famer? And does legacy have anything to do with his decision making? Does he care about that? Is that his aspiration, to be one of the game's greats when it's all said and done? Because if that's the case, are you looking to put yourself in the best possible position to not only succeed individually, but also continue to accumulate those championship accolades?
So, all right, put it this way.
Does that happen in New York?
No. So he
put it this way.
Since 2021, he's averaged about 5 wins a season since 2021. I'm not saying he's going to average 5 wins a season over the next 10 years, because by then he'll be 38. So yeah, like
what about 50, the next 5?
50 WAR. Or let's say it's just 40. Let's say he gives you 40 wins above replacement over the next 10 years. That's a 67.3 career WAR for him, and that's Hall of Fame status. Like that's right there.
Yep. We're having exactly. That's why I said borderline. We're having the conversation. You have to start to entertain the conversation. And so where does he see, if he's factoring that into his decision making, where does he see that being the most fruitful place to occur? Where does that come true? I mean, for me,
he's not a Boris guy, so that tells me something about him.
I would like to, man. I think it'd be a massive, massive get for the Jays. A massive get.
I agree. Because, I mean, put it this way. Out of all the teams that we've mentioned here, the Dodgers, the Mets, the Blue Jays, no matter what team he picks, he doesn't have to be the guy there.
No.
You've got Vladdy in Toronto. You've got Soto and Lindor in Queens. And, I mean, pick your fucking guy with the Dodgers. Like, he's not going to be asked to be the guy there either, obviously.
Now, let's look at it from this perspective. Who needs him the most out of these teams that we're mentioning right now? Who needs him the most, and who does he conceivably impact the most? I think
probably the Mets.
See, if I'm combining who needs him the most and where he can make the most impact, and like Toronto? In terms of putting a team over the hump, like you think you're one player away, a guy like Kyle Tucker away. And the reason I say that is because of the question mark that is around whatever you're going to get from George Springer. Because I have taken what we got from George Springer last year and kind of swapped it with a lower production value of what you hope to get from Santander. And if those two things balance themselves out, or they both kind of come back to water level, to sea level, and you plug a Kyle Tucker in there, that's the lead horse for me.
Well, Springer's also on the back nine too. Like he's an important part of that core.
For sure.
This run of Blue Jays baseball was made to be about the legacy Jays, but a lot of it has kind of been around like the George Springer signing. Like, when we go back to when he was one of the babies for the Astros back in the day, And then they started to add like the Brian McCanns and the Carlos Beltrans and the Josh Reddicks. So now he's playing that role with Toronto, where sure, like you've got your Bows and your Vladdies and your Biggios and your, Pearsons. Half those guys didn't pan out, but now Springer had the chance to be the veteran that walks in that's won a World Series, and he's been there and done that and gets this group over the hump. But as he, plays out the back nine here, like Kyle Tucker being the guy to kind of take the torch as the veteran who's super talented in the outfield, that's a big time key piece, especially if and when a guy like Bo Bichette signs with the Phillies or elsewhere.
Yeah, and my other thing is like with the Mets, like for me, there are just there's too many conversations and too many rumblings about what that clubhouse atmosphere is like. If you're somebody who likes to just kind of chill in the shadows and doesn't like all of the noise, is that a place that you want to go? Is that a place that you want to end up showing up to work each and every day, whether it's 3 years, 5 years, whatever it may be? Like it feels like you've already done your homework and you know what sort of environment you're walking into. And as much as the spotlight might be on other guys, could you very well find yourself under the spotlight? Because number one, it's New York. Let's not lose sight of that. I don't give a damn that you're wearing different types of pinstripes. It's New York. And they're going to want to know what you're bringing to the table. They want to see it play out. What kind of impact are you having in the clubhouse? And if you know all of those things, and you also know that there's been issues in that room before, is that a place that you're super eager to join and say, look, man, I'm just trying to come here, show up, play baseball, and I really don't want to enter a place that's already sort of divided to an extent, because I'm not the dude who's going to be the cohesion. I'm not the guy bringing everybody together. I'm the dude who shows up and is like, oh, shit, guess who just walked through the door? It's 30 and 100. Like that's who I am. That's who I want to be. I don't know that the New York Mets are that place.
No, and like, to your question earlier about what team needs him the most, like obviously like the Mets have cleared house, some intentionally, some unintentionally. They've cleared house this offseason, and they still have Juan Soto, they still have Francisco Lindor. Like these are bona fide superstars in our game, but where do you think if they don't get a Kyle Tucker, where do you think the Mets are projected to finish with what they just did to their own roster? Like, is that a fourth place team? If they don't get Framber too on top of that?
Yeah, because I think the Braves are going to be a lot better than they were last year for a lot of different reasons.
The Phillies will be back.
The Phillies are going to be better. I mean, whether or not I know the offer for JT Realmuto is still out there.
What the fuck's he waiting for?
That hasn't really picked up steam or not. I mean, maybe that's all. Maybe the Phillies, maybe JT's a Bo Bichette away from going, yep, I'm in.
I mean, people don't even realize that only 4 games separated the Mets and the Marlins last year.
The Marlins, what would they finish? They were 3 games under 500?
They were 4 games under 500.
4 games under 500.
Yeah. 79 and 83.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's why I said, sure, the Mets, out of the teams that we mentioned, being the Mets, the Jays, the Dodgers, Mets clearly the team that need him the most. I think he can make the most impact with the Blue Jays, because I just don't know that the Mets are just a Kyle Tucker away from being a significantly different ball club. They've got too many questions to answer, I think, in their rotation.
Yeah. Like the Mets right now are projected to win 83 games. And that kind of feels generous for them to finish with a winning record. Does that look like a winning ball club to you?
I mean, I think it could be a 500 club, arguably, but I mean, and I don't know that giving them one more win, creating a winning season is outlandish, but I don't know how much more you could feasibly expect.
No. Yeah. Like, all right, let's just jump in the hypothetical hot tub right here. What would it tell you about Kyle Tucker if he chose the Mets?
Well, I mean, a lot of that has to do with the offer. What kind of offer are we talking about? We're talking about
so
the short-term high money.
3 for $150 from the Mets with an opt-out after year 1. And it was 10 years, 10 times 35, $350 from the Jays.
That he got bad advice. Like, honestly, like, because of everything I just said. Like, if knowing all of the things about how the clubhouse has gone, and if you are objectively looking at the roster and asking yourself, where is my success in terms of my overall career headed and what I want to achieve? I want to be a champion again. Like, this is what I have to evaluate. And so I question what sort of advice he would be getting if that's the place that he goes on that kind of deal. And I say that if we're in the hypothetical hot tub and there's a similar offer on the table from the Dodgers. Because if there's a similar offer between those two clubs, I mean, the players have already shown you, right? Edwin showed you, quite literally leaving New York and going to Hollywood. Like, would you guys, you know what? Actually, I don't even really care what you offered. Here you go. I'm out. See ya.
Yeah. The last update that we got was that it's quote, likely that the Mets have gone to a 4th year. But even still.
Yeah, even still. So like, let's say it's 4 years. I mean, now what are we talking? Are we talking 4 years, 200? If we're talking 4 years, 200, and the Dodgers are offering you 3 for 130, 3 for 150, I'm going to LA. I'm going to LA.
You are, but is he?
I would hope so. Because if that's not the case, Jared, how does he defend not taking the 10-year piece from Toronto?
I don't want to play that long.
So we're talking about, so you'd rather play just one more year in New York and let that work itself out as opposed to going to Hollywood and playing with this group? That's what you'd rather do? Buddy, we got to talk. we got to have ourselves a come to Jesus moment, because that is not, I don't know that that's the best path.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the Jays are prioritizing Kyle Tucker over Bo Bichette. I think we that much is understandable, but do you think that they will regret that decision in the end? Because if they are one player away, I think in people's minds when we talk about Toronto, people are not factoring in the whole Bo Bichette part of this. Presumably, they will lose Bo Bichette. Like I haven't seen much, if any, talk about a reunion between the two sides.
But if they lose a Bo Bichette, which means they also part ways with what he was not bringing to the table defensively, and you add a Kyle Tucker who is coming with what he comes with defensively and offensively, don't you feel good about that?
I feel better. Yeah. No doubt. But
so then
I'm starting to, because ultimately, when you talk about this situation out loud, you put your own feelings involved in it. So if you're talking to me or you're talking to Dallas, of course I'm taking the 10 years from Toronto. Like if those were the offers that I was fielding, 3 years, 150 from the Dodgers, 4 years, 200 from the Mets, or 10 years, 350 from Toronto. I'm taking 10, 350 to go to Toronto. Like that's what I'm doing. Maybe you feel differently, Dallas. Maybe you would take the 150 to go to the Dodgers. Maybe that's like, you wouldn't pass up the opportunity to play for the Dodgers during this window where they're just dominating. But I guess the longer it takes, the more I'm like, if it's so obvious to take the 10 years from Toronto and you're just sitting there not taking it, this is a team that, again, like has been linked to Bo Bichette. What if Toronto sort of just catches wind and is like, this guy This guy really doesn't want to be like, how could you say no to this offer? What do you have to think about? So if you're taking this much time to think about our offer, why would we risk putting all our efforts into signing you, knowing that you don't want to be here, when we could be talking to Bo, trying to bring him back so that we don't get stuck with neither?
Right. Well, and I mean, there's other ways that they could shore up their roster, right? They could go get more help on the mound. They could absolutely try to do whatever they need to. I mean, you got restaurants in Toronto offering Bo free steak for life. Like that's a nice little cherry on top. But I mean, realistically, I agree that if there's going to be any sort of hesitation, I now, it's not about you balking. I want to know why you're balking. What is the holdup here? Because if we're offering you longevity, which is what players from the beginning of time have been in on, right? I mean, since they started handing out decade-long contracts, like I talked about it in this way. If somebody is handing you a big league pension, a fully vested big league pension through your contract, I know that's something that is now immediately goes to the back burner because of the amount of money that's going to come along with that deal. But that was like, oh man, we're handing out 10-year deals. Like that is, you will be a big leaguer for 10 years, which is the mark guys want to hit. And when you have that on the table, you got to give that serious thought because you understand where you're at as an organization in terms of a championship window. You understand how long that window can be open. You know what role you play in keeping that window open. And if you've got a 10-year runway, you'd like to think that there's going to be more than one opportunity to be successful within that window. And if that's something that now is, and this is I can't even believe I'm saying this right now. If being offered a 10-year contract is now something that is having guys shy away from destinations, where are we going as a sport? Where have we gone? Right. And again, this is hypothetical. This is to say Kyle Tucker wouldn't be interested in that. I truly don't want to believe that could even possibly be the case. But good Lord, what a world we'd be living in if the answer was, yeah, you know what? 10 years just as too
feels
long.
Like a long time to me.
Yeah. Like I was more in the 5-year neighborhood. And that's where honestly you look at it and go, well, I'm not going to say that you're already thinking about retirement, but how old's Kyle Tucker? 28?
He's going into his age 29 season.
So he'll be 29 years old. If at age 29, you've already started to evaluate what the end of your career looks like, man, let's get Bo on the horn. Bo, what do we got to do? You're willing to play second, right?
Are you discounting that possibility at all?
Nope.
A reunion? No.
Nope. I really do think that, and this is all I'll say about it. When we talk about clubhouse atmosphere, we talk about guys being comfortable in places. At times, being comfortable does find you kind of, I don't want to say on an island, but it finds you on your own program at times. And though you are comfortable within your own program and executing your own program, that might not always be the best for the room. And that can change. That can change from it being tolerable and understandable to we'd like to see a shift in culture and we'd like to see more of a group come together. And if we're not getting that, and if somebody feels like they're on the outside of that looking in now, well, you might see somebody be willing to change scenery.
Yeah. It's interesting. I think, so obviously if you haven't noticed, if for anyone watching on the YouTube, I'm going to the Bruins game tonight.
Oh,
but I feel like the Kyle Tucker signing, like I'm very down to do a bonus, like emergency pod for that, just to break it down, because I think it's going to be very fascinating to kind of like psychoanalyze the decision once we know what the location is, what the years and the dollars look like. So if it is tonight, I'm down when I get back. I'm down to hop in the studio and talk about it because I don't know. And I wonder, I guess my second question after all this would be, how soon after Kyle Tucker signs do you think Bo Bichette signs? Like, do you think that they're linked?
I do. I mean, what have we heard? We've heard that essentially the Rogers group are the ones to an extent not dictating, but have a major impact on how free agency is rolled. Who they're interested in, what they're willing to offer to whom, and with offers on the table, and now it being just a matter of whether or not guys are making a decision, weighing a decision, kind of putting the final touches on offers and coming back and getting the clarification they need on both ends. I think it would happen very quickly after. Yeah, because if you're Bo Bichette and you see that Kyle Tucker has accepted an offer and you can kind of read the writing on the wall, go, well, yeah, it looks like the money that they had allocated for me has now been spoken for over the next decade for this guy. Philly, here I come.
Yeah. Because I think what people are not talking enough about is how vocal Bo was towards the end of the World Series and in the beginning of free agency of like, I want to be here. Like, not a lot of, like, that's giving up leverage in a way, but not a lot of players will just openly say like, yeah, this is where I want to be. I want to be here. I hope that I come back in free agency. A lot of players will just be like, we'll see, see how that goes. How the process works. And some guys will be standing in their locker after the World Series wearing a Scott Boras hat. You don't know. So different players react differently. And Bo was very open about wanting to come back. So if he's sitting there waiting, being like, all right, because I think everyone just kind of saw the Phillies and Dave Dombrowski they want Bo Bichette. They have a meeting with him, a Zoom meeting set up. And I think we kind of just figured that it was only a matter of time once they were linked in that way. But Bo was so open about wanting to stay in Toronto. And if I'm him, I think it's pretty clear to see he's waiting to see, does Kyle Tucker decide to go to the Mets? And then if so, all right, well, then now we have more leverage. Like, if I want to make it work with the Phillies, I can now leverage the Blue Jays, or I can go to Toronto and be like, hey, I understand you didn't get the guy that you wanted, but remember me? I was pretty good for you. Yeah, so I do think that they're linked.
Yeah, I mean, and I think one of the bigger questions about that is Bo going back to Toronto going, I'm still playing shortstop, right?
At least to start, right?
But why? Why at this point? If you have already shown the willingness to move off of the position because there's an understanding that there's better options out there defensively for it, why do we have to act like that never happened?
Shortstop then?
Is Jimenez?
If I'm Bo and it's my team, the Blue Jays, and you just gave me all this money,
it ain't your team. It ain't your team. You're a free agent.
I think it's like shared. I think even Vladdy would tell you, like, it's our team.
That's fine. That's very different than it being his team.
Sure.
And that's where, if I'm the guy, if I was the dude and I'm the shortstop and I'm coming back, am I not coming back as a shortstop? Oh, hold on. Time out, buddy. You just told the free world that you were willing, in order to be competitive and in order to field the best offers that you could probably field, you were willing to move off of the position. You were willing to entertain being a second baseman. You see what we just did. We were 1 out away. You played second base during that little run. What am I missing here? Why would now we decide to take a step back, an obvious step back, and just act like none of that happened? You didn't tell the free world that you were willing to play second base for better offers and to be competitive? You didn't do that? Or did you do that? Oh, you did. Okay, well, we're willing to give you this money, but it's under this circumstance here where you might not be the everyday shortstop. Like, what's that conversation look like?
I think that if you gave me and my family generational wealth, I'm doing whatever you ask me to do. I don't think he's coming back with an ego. I'm sure he might feel like, well, unless you have a better option, then I should play shortstop. But if you have a better option, yeah, sure. Play second base, whatever.
There you have it.
It's interesting. As it is now January 15th, it's mid-January, and there's still some big fish out there. I know Ranger coming off the table was exciting yesterday, but Framber's still out there, Bo's still out there, Tucker's still out there, and we are a month away from pitchers and catchers. Less. Some teams, it's less than a month right now.
Yeah, approaching. Yeah, green and gold lock in on the 11th.
Slackers, we're there on the 10th, so yeah, get your shit together.
That's just
you guys obviously just want to lollygag and take your time in the off season. That's fine. It's fine.
We've got so many interesting arms we're bringing in. There's a lot to parse through. That's all.
Sure. There's one interesting arm, the Team USA. Actually, before we get into this name, as we're recording this podcast, Alex Bregman is doing his press conference with the Cubs right now and talking about how he always wanted to play for the Cubs and that whole shebang. The announcement that he made during that press conference is he will play for Team USA for the WBC.
Love that.
Mm-hmm.
Love that. I mean, it is stacking up. It is stacking up for the red, white, and blue, bud. Looking good. Looking real good.
You guys have an all right squad.
Yeah,
we just added Freddie Peralta. You see that?
That's cute. We've got the best staff in the tournament. Yep. Back. Book it. We have absolute dogs in the lineup, all up and down. You got Kershaw, who just joined the club.
Yeah, that's
for the first time ever.
Yeah, what a time to fucking make your debut for the WBC when you're 55.
Hey, he's going to pitch important innings.
I hope so. I'm excited. Imagine, being a Dodger fan I'm a Clayton Kershaw fan as a non-Dodger fan, but to experience his retirement and be like, man, that was the last time I'm ever going to see him pitch. And then be like, actually, I'm going to pitch in big games in the World Baseball Classic. That's pretty fucking cool.
That's what I was going to say is I did say important innings, and how those innings are important, we will see. I didn't say big games.
Yeah, they're important innings. Like when it's 16-1 against like fucking Aruba. Yeah, those are big innings. Like we need to save the other guys from having to throw innings, so Kershaw goes out and gets those outs for you.
Yeah, but see, he wants to be a part of this. It's a special, man. This is going to be a stacking of the stars, dude. This group, this team.
Yeah, so is the Dominican team.
Yeah.
You disagree?
No, I mean, there's some good players.
There's some great players.
That's one way to label a few of them. Sure.
Yeah, so I don't know that people are going to be disappointed, but I feel like our normal spring training content is going to be not even put on hold, just completely put aside, because I feel like we're just going to go all in on WBC. Is that not the vibe that you're getting?
That's, I mean, I have no problem with that.
I don't either.
I have no problem with that.
Because I mean, put it this way. I think the biggest draw or reason why spring training trips are successful for us is because we get the big stars. Those big stars are going to be playing in the WBC. So we're going to be going to spring training camps and no one's going to fucking be there. So I'm very down on just going all in on WBC for content this spring.
Yeah, no, I have, where my heart lies when it comes to the WBC. Like I absolutely love every minute of what this tournament brings to the table, what it can do for the sport, how it unifies fan bases, believe it or not. I mean, because I think this is baseball at the highest level in its purest form that it can be at this level. I always talk about, and this, honestly, this has changed over the last few years. And I would say it's now probably little league and high school, as opposed to what I said was, high school and college baseball. But with the NIL, money is now as much of a part of collegiate athletics as it is professional athletics. So watching players and coaches hit the carousel and hit the portal every year, even after successful years, just chasing the bigger NIL dollar, the purity of the sport there for me has taken a hit. So Little League baseball, high school baseball is probably the purest form of baseball you're going to watch. And then when you get to the WBC, and it's because you have these gajillionaires who are putting all of that aside, per se, to go out and just try to win for the flag. Like that's what fucking gets me going. And yes, I can acknowledge that the reason they're able to, quote unquote, put all that aside is because they've made their money. I understand that. Nobody's naive to that. But when guys have made their money, what do I always talk about? Someone who gets breaded up and is ready to just play for the love of the game and continue to try to get better just because that's what they wanted to do since they were playing baseball in its purest form in Little League. And then there's guys who take the paycheck and say, I'll see you in spring. Not too interested in doing much more than that for anybody else. I owe my team this and blah, 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 blah. Like players from all walks of life are putting the flag on their back and ready to go to work. And I don't know how you don't get excited about that.
I get excited about that. I got excited about it right away. I actually, that's what I want to talk about, Dallas. Now that we're on this subject, I forgot to bring this up earlier in the week, but I found my digital camera from when I was in high school, and the batteries in it exploded. So I had to remove the SD card from it and then find an SD card reader that I could access on my laptop. Finally found one. Went into the camera and found proof that when I was in high school, my high school car had the Dominican flag draped across the back seat with the Dominican flag hanging from the front mirror. And the vandals that wrote, "You're not Dominican" on the side of my car. This was in 2006 or 7. So I've been dealing with the anti-Dominican rhetoric for decades, quite literally decades at this point.
Jesus.
So I talked to Joe's McFly over at John Boy, and I was like, because me and Jake have been talking about doing, like crossover content this year. Like I haven't been to Yankee Stadium since 2019. But I was like, me and Joe's, we got to unite as Dominican brothers during the WBC, put down, our pitchforks and get over the Red Sox Yankees thing and unite as Dominican brothers. So I'm excited for that partnership. And as you know, Dallas, now it's confirmed. You can see that I've been defending the flag for decades, and I'm proud of it. I'm proud to defend the DR.
Well, I'm glad you're going to have a hill to die on.
Yeah, I mean, I guess after, I'm sure after we win the whole thing, I'm probably going to die on some hill for all the celebrating I'll be doing. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, you're going to be drinking Presidentes to wash away all of the pain that the good old US of A has brought you. You're going to get slapped right across the face with that 2x4 from Hacksaw. That's going to be the bitch slap of truth, the bitch slap of reality. Ho! Ho! Yep.
No.
Yep.
I just ordered another gold chain so I can have.
That's 2.
I'm trying to get up to 3. Yeah, I got 2, but I'm trying to get up to. Actually, I have one from like high school. I got to find it, but I don't know that it fits with these ones. But
you going rope? You going Cuban link?
2 Cuban link, 1 rope, I think. Yeah.
About right.
Yeah. We'll figure it out. We have a Dominican stylist on standby for the WBC. I showed Dallas. I found I wore it on the show. I found my my Dominican wristbands from high school as well. Yeah. I think we're just ready to rip.
Well, I can't wait. Can't wait. Because there will be blood.
Sure.
There will be blood.
USA is in Miami too, or no?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Let's take a look.
Yeah, what pool are you guys? I think you're in the same pool. WBC pools.
No, pool is as the Dominican?
Yeah, you guys are pool.
No, we're in Pool B. It's Mexico, Italy, Great Britain, Brazil. I mean, it's
you
just
guys are gonna steamroll that.
Yeah,
that pool.
I mean, you got Venezuela, Dominican, Netherlands, Israel, and Nicaragua.
Yeah, we have a decent pool. Yours is obviously just like a fucking gimme because they want the United States to win.
Because we are dominant. I mean, is it?
That's in Houston. You guys are in Houston.
Is Pool A? Is Pool A the most competitive pool?
Colombia, Panama, Canada, Cuba, Puerto Rico.
Like in terms from like top to bottom strength? I mean, Panama, Colombia, not so much. But
what was like the team that was like the little engine that could? Mexico last year or not last tournament? Like Mexico had like Randy, they had Duran. Like Mexico wasn't bad, right?
They got Kirk, they got Rowdy. Rowdy Tellez confirmed will be playing for Mexico.
Yeah, I mean, Pool D, like Venezuela is good.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're in a gimme pool. Japan's in a gimme pool.
I mean, we're so good that we make it a gimme pool. It's not necessarily a gimme pool.
Puerto Rico is in a gimme pool. Like the DR, we got Venezuela. Like they're tough.
I mean, you're dropping a Venezuela. It's Puerto Rico, Cuba, Canada. Those are three pretty decent organizations.
Canada's not good at baseball.
Three pretty decent rosters. Come on.
The Blue Jays are, I think you're confusing like the Blue Jays being good with like Canadian-born baseball players being good.
You saying Canadians don't know how to play baseball?
I'm not saying they don't know how. I'm saying that they're not very good at it.
Wow.
They play hockey. They play hockey.
They do. They play hockey. They play it very well.
Yeah. They're not churning out Hall of Fame baseball players. Has there ever been a Hall of Fame Canadian baseball player?
Fucking Larry Walker.
Canadian-born MLB Hall of Famers.
Yeah. What about Ferguson Jenkins?
Fergie Jenkins.
Yeah.
And Larry Walker.
Yeah, I just named the only two.
All right, so two. And obviously Votto will get in and yeah.
Vlad
so there's two. So the answer is no.
Baby cakes?
The answer is no. There's not a lot.
Come on.
Two?
Still
How
pretty
many
good.
people like have been born in Canada since fucking the start of baseball? And two
does
of
it
them
look
got
like
to
I
Hall
work
of
for
Fame?
the fucking Canadian Census Bureau? I have no idea. I mean, I know they be banging because it's constantly cuffing season up there. It's cold.
It's freezing. There's so many people in Canada that over the course of over 100 years, you're telling me that two getting to the Hall of Fame is a big number?
Yeah, they play hockey. When they realize that they could swing a different stick, look what it turns into.
Right. I mean, in fairness, it should be like Votto's a Hall of Famer. He'll get in. So 3 Hall of Famers.
So there you go.
So there you go. Canada, I'm not respecting
Canada,
their baseball
confirmed
prowess.
good at baseball.
Not as good as Venezuela.
Yeah, I mean,
how many Venezuelan-born players of how many Venezuelan-born players are in the
4.
baseball
4 is what I'm
going to
say.
1.
Oh, look at you. Talk that shit. You got 1 Venezuelan in the Hall of Fame.
Miggy Cabrera.
No,
Miguel Cabrera. No. Miguel Cabrera makes 2. He's not in yet, but he will be.
2.
Yeah.
So Canada still leading that race, huh?
No.
Excuse me?
I said no.
Yeah, well, you're wrong. That would be the wrong answer. Yeah.
No.
You don't get to add Miggy, who's not there yet, and then disqualify Votto, who you put in twice 2 seconds ago. Yeah, that's not how that works.
Jose Altuve is going to get in, so fuck you.
No, buddy. Now look at you.
No,
See,
fuck
I mean,
you,
this is pathetic. This is pathetic. Yeah, dude,
Johan Santana should be in.
Bad look. Yeah, great, fantastic.
Felix Hernandez.
Yeah, he will be. He will be.
So
one
Venezuela, stand up. Maglio Ordonez would be in the Hall of Fame if he got to face you every fucking time out.
Well, he didn't. That's his fault. You take me deep twice in 1 inning, I'm gonna have to come out of the game.
Salvador Perez.
Pick your spots. Sal, Jayhay believes Salvador Perez is probably just a slightly above average catcher, if you ask him.
Yeah, but he's a Hall of Famer.
In my heart, he is.
What about the big cat?
Andres. No.
He's Venezuelan.
Yeah, but he's not a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, all these guys should be. Ronald Acuna Jr., future Hall of Famer.
Are you done?
Am I wrong?
Are you done with trying? Yeah, you're wrong. You're wrong.
No. You're telling me that Ronald Acuna Jr. is not a future Hall of Famer?
We don't know that.
I mean, he invented his own club.
A lot of meat left on. Fantastic.
The 70-40?
Great.
Hall of
Incredible
Famer.
season. An incredible season.
Venezuela, stand up.
Yeah, you've just expanded their Hall of Fame roster from 1 to fucking 9.
What about Victor Martinez?
Yeah, V-Mart.
He was great.
Player. Great player.
Oh, my God. One of my favorites.
Not a Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer.
Yeah, it's a tough look for
you.
Were you
a
right
yes
now.
on King Felix? Yes.
Yeah, I said yes.
Okay. So Venezuela has far more than Canada.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to go down the list of outstanding Canadians. Jeff Francis, if he'd have pitched longer and better.
Jeff Francis, you said.
Hall of Famer. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He's only really known for giving up a home run in the World Series to Dustin Pedroia. That's true.
Like I said, if he'd have pitched better and longer, Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
easily.
he's a Hall of Famer. Yeah.
Yeah.
He just needed to be better and pitch longer.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who else?
Everybody's career goes differently.
Is Jeff Francoeur Canadian?
No, why? Because of the name?
I guess, yeah. Is he? Is he not?
I'm fucking serious.
He's from Atlanta, Georgia.
Yeah. Let me just think of the French Canadian names here. Morneau. Throw Morneau in there, Jared.
He's
Morneau.
Canadian.
I know he's Canadian.
Yeah, not a Hall of Famer, though. Not a Hall of Famer.
Easily. Twins Hall of Famer. That makes him a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, we're talking baseball Hall of Fame.
No, Twins are a baseball team. So he is definitely in a baseball
team's Hall of Fame, but not the baseball Hall of Fame.
So Morneau confirmed Hall of Famer. Who else? Yeah, I mean the list goes on. Really, I'm here all day.
Yeah, who's that? Adam Stern. Adam Stern was like an outfielder. He was like a fifth outfielder for the Red Sox, who I believe played for Team Canada in the first ever World Baseball Classic. Not a Hall of Famer though. He's just a guy from Canada.
just a dude from Canada. I mean, what are we fucking talking about? Freddie Freeman?
He's fake Canadian.
No, I'm pretty sure he's like full blown Canadian. Like when you're born there, that's what you are.
Wasn't it like his mom was born in Canada or something? Where was he born?
I mean, look it up. I'm pretty sure it was Canada.
He was born in California, Fountain Valley.
So close to Canada.
Yeah, so not Canadian.
Russell Martin?
Russell Martin's Canadian, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Dude was born in California. You're trying to tell me that he's Canadian. Come on.
He's played for Canada.
He has, yeah. But like, I'm pretty sure if like your mom's fucking like neighbor's cousin is Canadian, you can play for Team Canada.
Close-knit community, the Canadians.
Yeah. They're friendly people.
They're extremely friendly people.
Yeah.
Lovely people.
They are super lovely. I will say that, yeah. During the World Series, they were very happy that, people with platforms were talking positively about their country and their baseball team. Yes, they were very appreciative, which you don't often see. Usually it's the opposite.
Isn't Tyler O'Neill?
Yes, he's Canadian. Not Hall of Famer, though.
He's got a couple gold gloves that are acknowledged in the Hall of Fame, though.
Yeah, not a good defender. Yeah, that actually did the award a disservice.
Well, his name's in the Hall of Fame.
Is that how that works? When you win the gold glove, they put your name in the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, pretty sure. I mean, there's acknowledgement. Yeah, I've never been, but there's an acknowledgement there.
You've never been to the Hall of Fame?
Nope.
Why? How?
I don't know. I don't know.
That's the craziest thing I've ever heard. Mr. fucking Baseball has never been to the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
How?
I just haven't.
How, Dallas?
I don't know. I got a lifetime pass there. Never been.
From the perfect game, you got a lifetime pass, or just from making it to the show?
For giving stuff to the hall.
Oh.
Yeah.
How, Dallas? How? That has to be a choice. That's not like we just never planned it. It's never something that came about. Like, that's got to be a personal choice where, like, you don't want to go for some reason.
Yeah, it was honestly, and I mean, we don't need to get into it, but it was one of the things where I was like, if I deserve to go into that place if I ever, and this is the thought that I had, like, as a child, like, I deserve to go there if I was going to be acknowledged there. And obviously that ship sailed the minute I got to the big leagues. But it was just man, I don't know. It's a weird, I think it's like a weird respect thing I have for, and I don't know that I've like fully processed it and worked through it, but yeah, like I just don't know that I deserve to walk into that place.
That's insane. It's a museum.
I know. And that's what I mean. Like, I just, I don't know.
Dallas, you need to go. You'll regret it if you don't go.
Yeah, I want to go. I think I just I think if I went, like, I would want to take my grandmother so that she could see the display.
Yeah.
And that would be it.
Do they still have like the perfect game display there?
From what I understand. Yeah. Because, I mean, people send me pictures and shit all the time.
I bet you if they knew that you were coming, they would create some sort of like exhibit.
Yeah, I from what I've been told, and from the pictures that I get from people who have traveled there is like, there's a display of artifacts from each one of those games. But I don't know that it's something that they like keep up, or, I don't know.
I mean, it's always changing. I'm sure They rotate stuff all the time, but I would also venture to guess that if they knew that you were coming, that they would put something together from the archives that you could look at as well.
Yeah. I don't know.
That's not the correct mindset. You need to work through that and go.
Yeah. One day, maybe.
Don't maybe me. You like that. You're the baseball guy. Like, you have to, like, that's like one of those things where it's like, all right, like, not have you gone, but how many times have you been? Like, who was the World Series champion the year or who was the Hall of Fame class? Like, the first time that I went, it was like the Ozzie Smith year. So I got to see like a bunch of like Ozzie Smith stuff. And I remember going in 2014. So it was after the Red Sox won in 13. So there was a 2013 World Series exhibit. Like, I've been like a bunch of times, and every time you go, like, there's something different to like remember, like, oh yeah, like it was that year because that was there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, I thought about, like, man, the day that Barry, should he ever be inducted, that might be a day that I go to, like, watch the induction and be a part of that and see that, just because of him being the childhood guy, right? Like, didn't have the opportunity to, I mean, I sat and watched Ricky's. I mean, I watch them all. Because I love those. I love the stories that they tell. I love to hear their acknowledgments of the people who've helped them. Like, it does. It means, and that's what I mean by like working through it. Like, it means a lot to me to see these players still be able to turn back the clock and give acknowledgement to the people who helped them become the players that they were, because of the impact that they've had on other great players in their career, and they're joining this sacred group. Like, it's a massive deal. And I don't know, because it also feels like it'd be like a, oh, look at me, former player going to the Hall of Fame. Like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like no. I know who I am. I know who I'm not. I
don't think it would be that at all. I think people would be stoked to see how much it meant to you to see all that stuff.
Yeah, like I would probably, yeah. And like, it would probably be an embarrassing moment too, because I don't know how emotionally I would react. For the same reason, I mean, it's probably a lot of the same reasons why I haven't watched that game back and just sat and watched it. Because it's a lot of the same reasons why I didn't collect stuff throughout my career from teammates and from opposing players and stuff, because I just always told myself, like, I have the memories and I know that I was on the same field as these guys, and no one will ever be able to take that away from me. And I don't need to hang their jersey on my wall for that to be true. I don't need to have the bat hanging on my wall for that to be true. You know, like some of my more prized artifacts are, like, I have all the gloves of the 4 other left-handers who were in the all left-handed starting rotation with me when I was playing, right? I've got Lenny DiNardo, Dana Evelyn, Greg Smith, Dan Meyer, and my glove, all boom, 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 in a row. And like, that means a lot to me. I asked for a glove from a guy who I played in AA with, just because he was a great dude. He was a good friend of mine. He opened his home to me. Like, he made an impact. And like, that's the kind of stuff that I hold close to my heart. I mean, would it be cool to have a Maglio Ordonez jersey hanging? Sure. And tell that story. But what I do have is my friend who put together the fucking article from the next day from the Detroit Free Press or whatever it was, touting Maglio's enormous inning, and the fact that on the back she put the fucking box score and highlighted the fact that I had been optioned down on my birthday. Like, that hangs in my office. And, you know, like, stuff like that, just humble reminders of where I've been, what I've done, what I did not do, but the fact that for a moment in time, I got to play with Hall of Fame players, play against Hall of Fame players, you know, like the relationship I have with Nomar, being able to talk to him and see him and the impact that he had on my career in such a small amount of time. Like that means the world to me. I don't need his jersey. I don't need a signed ball from him to like confirm that. It's watching him walk off the set at Dodger Stadium and head up one way and then reroute just to come over and give me a hug and say hello and catch me for 5 minutes. Like, I'm the fucking last dude that should be on that dude's radar at all. And he sees me, and, you know, being able to talk to Reggie. Like, when I saw Reggie in Houston, I completely blew off our pregame meeting and our pregame hit that we had to do. And I was so worried about getting crushed by our producer because I wasn't answering my phone. I wasn't anything. And when I finally broke away from Reggie and I'm walking up, like, I look at my phone and the response was, "I see who you're talking with. Scratch it. Take all the time you need." And because, like, they know how I feel about that. Like, I'm not saying a motherfucking word when Reggie's talking. I am listening. He's asking questions. I'm giving answers, and I'm shutting up. And like, I'm talking to Reggie fucking Jackson on a big league baseball field. That shit will never get old to me. That shit is never, ever lost on me. And so I don't ever, I don't know. I don't want to cloud my memory with like these things that might get me to remember that I was somebody who I wasn't, because I know exactly who I was, but I have the memories of playing against and with guys who remind me that, like, it's real, it's attainable. You know, that's why when I talk to little kids, I go and speak at places, I take a dozen baseballs with me, or however many. I always ask how many kids are going to be here, because I want to bring them all a brand new baseball, and I hand it to them at the beginning of the conversation, and I don't say anything about it. I just hand them a baseball, and then I talk, and then at the end, I remind them, now you see that ball in your hand? That's a Major League Baseball. I never thought I was going to be able to touch one of those outside of maybe getting a foul ball. But that's how close it is to you. That's how close you are to the big leagues. You can touch it. I promise you, you'll be able to smell it. You'll be able to taste it if you want it. It's right there. Don't ever lose sight of that it's right there. So, I mean, the stuff that I keep are things that, you know, like the Nolan Ryan shit that I have, like, it's because he's the fucking He's an absolute fucking stud, man. I wanted to be Nolan Ryan. I wanted to be Sandy Koufax. That's why their pictures are right next to each other in my office.
Yeah, you gotta go, man. You gotta go. If I have to fucking drag you there myself, I'll do it.
Yeah. Something I should think about.
Yeah, like soon.
You're probably
right. You're robbing yourself of an experience that I mean, I think from like a baseball standpoint, I think your first time. I think you are in a unique position where, you know, there's so many diehard baseball fans out there, people that love the sport and love their team, and they have their favorite players from growing up and their favorite players right now. They go to the Hall of Fame and it's like this, you know, it's almost like a religious experience. But you are in a unique position where it's like, I know a lot of these guys. Like I know them personally. They know me. So it's cool to be able to see all of this. So you're just in a different tax bracket than your average baseball fan. So like your experience will be so heightened, and yeah, like don't rob yourself of that.
Yeah. It's like when I went to, I mean, I go to the Negro League Museum every year. Every year that we're in Kansas City, I go see Mr. Kendrick. Last year, I got to go with a guy who's like a big brother to me in Shooty Babbitt. And like, that was just an awesome experience getting to cruise the museum with him. And, you know, he's breaking down stories and experiences. And it's just, that's a place that just continues to give me perspective and continues to create a different level of appreciation for me. And it's a little more accessible than Cooperstown is, because that's probably a bit of a hike, I would assume. But yeah, probably something I should think about.
Yeah, we'll work on that. Any final thoughts?
No, I don't think so. I mean, I was going to talk about the Scooble stuff, but we can save that for another day.
All right. All right, everyone. Enjoy your weekend. If Kyle Tucker does sign between now and the next show on Monday, we'll see if we can hop in the lab and pump something out for you. If it ends up being tonight, it'll probably be something that we record tomorrow, because is Jayhay going to be available? I don't know. We'll ask. We'll figure it out off the air.
No, yeah,
we'll get you a
weekend.
bonus pod if he signs. But enjoy your weekend. We'll see you on the next one.
Wow.